Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I'm working on a 12 by 24 birchwood canvas. I stenciled using stencil butter by TCW. I did prep the canvas with white gesso, and my color palette will include the Baltic Day Garnet pigment paste as well as a Rolio gold mica powder, which is really rich, so I'm hoping it works out here. I'm gonna just put the resin down, have you listen to some music. So my resin is down. I did take the heat gun to it, which is why I put the music on. It's rather difficult to listen. So I want to go in and just start pouring down some of those beautiful colors, the garnet and the gold. And I'm thinking I'm going to just use a pipette. I'm just going to grab one real quick and just put down little tiny droplets, and we'll see if it works out. I'm not really sure if it will. This is the first time that I'm attempting this, so let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that it does. Just want to take the heat gun to it one more time. There are more bubbles forming. I'm just grateful there are no flies and gnats about. So I grab my pipettes and I'm going to just squeeze in some of that beautiful garnet by Baltic Day and try to just put down droplets here and there, and again, I do plan to perhaps just take the palette knife or the silicone tool and just perhaps elongate them a little bit so that they're a little bit more floral-like, because as I'm putting them down, they're starting to look more like holly, and if the vines were green, it would be Christmas, so I'm not really going for that. Oh no. Oh, that did not work out really well. Didn't mean for that to happen, so I'm just going to try swiping it away and see if I can continue on. Little accidents. Let's see what can happen next. As I said, I haven't done this before with the pipette. No excuses. Oh, I seem to be just making a mess of this, but I'm glad that the resin is cooperating and is forgiving. It is rather cool today for the second day of August or first day of August, and so the resin seems to be getting tacky a lot quicker than it does when it's really hot out. But I'm just going to attempt doing some more of those little drops. I want to see if oh, maybe not. No, I think I'm just going to squeeze out some of the garnet. It's just so pretty, and I think I'm just going to attempt to do a different technique here, since dropping with those pipettes did not work for me. So let me continue and put some music on for you. All right, this is turning out to be quite a scene, almost like, I don't know, I don't want to say a murder scene with all this garnet all over the canvas, but I'm thinking if I continue just putting the, or leave the red down and then add the gold, and perhaps use the serrated tool and try a swipe, or just taking it in another direction, since my droplet method did not work. My hands don't always cooperate, and I just miscalculated the placement, or just shaking off excess, or perhaps just using the that cup, that paper cup, and just doing it that way, or perhaps even using the squeeze pastry bag, sort of, or a Ziploc bag, where I might have a little bit more control than the pipette allowed. Just a thought for the future. We'll see if it works out. But once again, I think I'm going to use the serrated tool and just create a swipe, and let's see what happens. So I was a little heavy-handed with the gold, and it definitely took over a lot more than I had wanted to. So I'm going to continue using the serrated tool. Sometimes I use a comb, but I'm going with this right now. I want to see if I can just break it up and perhaps have it become less pronounced. I don't know if it's going to work, because the gold is so bold, and it is really rich. I like it, but I fear it's a little bit too much here, and I'm not really liking the effect right now. So let's see if we can just create another layer or another dimension. I am going to introduce some more of that Baltic Day garnet, just to see if I can incorporate some of that gold. So here we go again. I'm not really liking the direction that the serrated tool created here. So I want to see if I can create more of a floral pattern, just running my finger through it. So I'm going to do some finger painting. Love finger painting, like kindergarten. I love the tactile feel, or I just love using my fingers to create the or to feel the flow of that resin. And it's rather warm right now, and I can definitely feel under my fingertip, and I know it's getting rather tacky. So I'm going to continue just creating, again, sort of a viney floral feel to it. I'm not really sure if it's going to work out, so I'm thinking of what I may do next. Just going to continue doing this and turn the music back on. All right, so using my fingers eliminated some of that gold a little bit, but there's still a lot on here, more than I really wanted to. So I'm going to add a little bit more resin, because what's on there right now, as I said, is getting rather tacky. So adding another layer of that resin, which is warm enough that I can play with it a little bit more. And again, I'm not really liking this. It's just, oh my goodness, helter skelter, forgive me. It's just all over the place. So I'm thinking perhaps if I used a serrated tool with a different sort of, or a different sort of teeth to it, just so that they're not so close together. I'm going to try it. Again, I'm not really sure where this journey today is taking me, and I thank you for joining me as I try to salvage this piece. I love the wispy effect that that red is creating on that negative space. I would love to leave some negative space, and again, I'm not really sure where this is going. Totally taking in a life of its own and taking me on an adventure of sorts. And again, just trying to create a wispy floral pattern here, but I'm not really sure it's working out too well. And you can tell on the left side of the screen that the resin has become rather tacky, and I'm hoping that I can still salvage this composition. I love the interplay of the black tie stencil butter, which is TCW. If I did not mention, it is black tie. I love what it's doing here with the gold and the garnet. So let's see what else I can do. here we are. I went from trying the drop method to get little tiny florets. It did not work out for me. So then I tried just pouring down in a line or lines those colors, and a little overwhelming, or a lot overwhelming. So since my resin had become rather tacky, I tried the swipe just to see if I could remove some of that. But I did warm that resin up, and it worked out really well. So just want to touch up some areas with a little bit more resin, because there are areas that are dimpling, and I'm hoping that it does not affect the overall composition since the resin was so tacky. So I'm taking the torch to it, and I put it at an angle so it does not burn the resin, especially since it is so tacky at this point. But what has happened is just magnificent. So it actually turned out to be a blowout. I love the play of the leaves, those black tie stencil butter leaves are just real pretty with the as a backdrop to that garnet and the gold. I only left a little bit of the gold, so it's almost like a yellow, but it's actually really much deeper and richer looking. Do leave your comments. I want to take you in for a close-up just so that you can see what's going on. Natural lacing going on in this piece, and that is from the heat gun and the interplay. Because the gold is a little metallic, you can see what's going on here. So it actually did turn out to be a floral piece with those leaves as the backdrop. Overall, I'm rather pleased after much work. Thank you for joining me. Be good to one another and yourselves.